Climate change is a serious issue, and different peoples, different well-known personalities, and even the social workers, time to time they highlight this particular issue, and obviously this needs public attention because ultimately no government, no social worker, no society, no trust can address the situation. Only we, the people who are living on this particular earth, and we are going to have the right sort of mindset. We are going to have the right sort of guidelines, and not only those guidelines are supposed to be in some book or in some of the sort of constitution. Means if they are going to be part of our life, then only we are going to address this particular situation of climate change. Because we do know that the different sorts of thing, the kind of atmosphere we are having, which is so drastic. We don't have the rain in rainy seasons. We have the ultra hot summers and the different sorts of things which are not common. Means 20, 30 years before, which the things were quite obvious, are not supposed to be here as of now. So what are the sort of things that the reason is climate change? So we are going to discuss some of the things that what are the sort of different things that could be done by different students around the world. Because usually when we think about the climate change, we don't talk about the sort of potential that we have at university side. We do have so large masses of students and the right sort of people to whom we need to contact with. Because ultimately the university produces the right kind of personalities which are going to lead the world in the future. So the near future of personalities means those are supposed to be addressed in the right sort of way. And that's why the role of universities to help tackle this problem of climate change is very important. So in this particular video, we are going to talk about the role of universities and how they are supposed to go vegan, because some of the universities have already started this go vegan kind of specific trend. And it's quite successful, and they are having the specific substantial indices which are showing the remarkable performance. So we are going to discuss all these things in this particular video. So let's start. Hey there, my name is Rohit Kumar, and we are going to see this particular blog in this particular video by Jolin, which is a quite substantially good blog, I would say. And she has mentioned the different universities and the kind of statistics which are going to prove that yes, universities can play a substantial role in addressing the kind of climate change problem. So let's start with the first finding she has mentioned. The University of Cambridge announced the last week, means when last week they are talking with respect to the September 16, 2019. Okay. So the University of Cambridge announced that they have decided to remove the beef and lamb from its 14 outlets and 1,500 annual events to cut the university's food-related carbon emissions. Now you can think of that from 1,500 annual events are going to get conducted in a particular university. Now think about the all universities around the world and all the possible students in those universities, and how many different events, how many the different sorts of competitions, food related competitions, and all these things do happen. And if there are so many different sorts of non-vegan things are going to get happen, then obviously you can imagine the sort of carbon emission that is going to impact the world. And before going deep into this particular topic, let me first clear this thing, because many of the people do have this concept that if we go vegan, then how it is going to help with the carbon emission problem. So the point is that whatever animal you are going to kill to get your flesh or the meat, ultimately it is consuming some sort of energy in the form of some means normal plant or something like that. Okay. So if you means instead of consuming that transformed meat sort of food, if you directly consume the energy, means the right sort of food from the plant or something like that, then this whole process of feeding the animal, bringing it up, and then going through this killing and all these things could have been saved. And ultimately the sort of different sorts of things that you put into this nourishment of that particular animal could be saved. So in this way, that carbon emission, specific carbon emission could have been get down by a substantial rate, because ultimately when we talk about the specific killing of a particular animal, then that particular animal means it takes lots of food, and that particular food might be going to get into a plate of a single person, 2%, 3%, or a couple of people. Means the animal is having the food of 100 of people, but it is going to get eaten by only 10 of people. So you can assume that what sort of energy degradation is going to get there, because ultimately if you go plant-based food, then ultimately it is going to help you a lot. in addressing this problem of carbon emission as well as the climate change. Now moving on to the next point. So the news also follows that the Goldsmiths, the University of London, also made the decision to remove all the beef products on sale in the university. And then the University of Westminster, they encouraged the students to switch to the meat-free options by having the part-time carnival loyalty card. And then the University of East Anglia, then the Ulster University, then University of Oxford, they have also participated in the meat-free Mondays. So this meat-free Monday is also a very good concept, because if you can't free all the days, at least have 2 or 3 days in a week, so that you could contribute at least up to some extent towards this problem. Okay, then moving further, the university's reason for switch to veganism, they are saying that the veganism is becoming somewhat of a growing trend, because on social media also and different sorts of platform, you must be seeing that different people promote it. The PETA and sort of different organizations are also coming to the picture, where they offer the different sorts of reasons and the right sort of perspective with respect to the killing of the different animals, and how they all these killing impacted the climate change, how this different sorts of diversity of food getting consumed into a different into a specific form of meat, and that is going to get consumed by different people. So how this diverse means disparity of the food opinion and the related problems are going to come into a picture. Different sorts of organizations are working on to that. So the media attention or all these things are coming into the picture. You just need to have a specific focus onto the problem of climate change and the carbon emission, so you will understand the whole situation. Moving further and keeping focus onto this particular article, we are going to discuss that article in the Guardian have discussed that the animal products cause more damage than the construction minerals, such as the sand or the cement, plastic or the metals. So you can see that what sort of damage you are doing to the earth. Then the biomass and the crops for the animals are as damaging as fossil fuels. So ultimately, if you are a science guy, definitely you understand the concept of fossil fuels, and it is going to clearly state too much. We don't need to say a lot. Okay. Then we have the limiting students' choice, because some of the people argue that yes, it's our choice. Some farmers are saying that moving towards the veganism are limiting their choice and necessary way to approach the problem of climate change. Because some people think like this, that this is not the right sort of way to address the problem. And from a student's point of view, also many people do say that we are very disappointed from this sort of guidelines, because ultimately having the food, clothing, etc., all these things are our personal choice. But your personal choice, if impacting the kind of well-being of the earth, then it's a too dangerous trend, because ultimately you are thinking it from a taste point of view. But it's not a taste problem, it's the survival problem, because ultimately the climate change is impacting the health of the earth, and ultimately you being a tiny part of this whole earth, you should be responsible for its existence and its care. So hopefully you understand. And then the UK told the BBC, means the National Farming Union, NFU, in the UK told the BBC that it's a disappointing the university is taking this oversimplistic approach. So some of the people do say that people are not addressing the climate change in the right way. They need to take some of the sophisticated steps, etc., etc. But the point is that do not think that this is going from only a particular point of view. Means they want to curb the non-vegan sort of things, and all they want to shut down all the meat shops, etc., etc. It's not like that. The point is that you think yourself that how much food animal consume, and then you butcher it, and then ultimately you convert it to the meat food, and then how many people can consume that. So there is a huge disparity. If you understand that, you will easily understand the whole problem. Then finally, the UK's NFU released a report, and again they acknowledged the contribution that the agriculture is making to the carbon emission, and explaining how they plan to achieve the net zero greenhouse gas emission by 2040. So different sorts of reason people are giving, and different people's opinion are there. So it's totally up to them, but still, hopefully they will understand, and people will have a sort of right discussion. We will come on to a common consensus. Then lastly, what can universities do to help combat climate change? So additionally, in addition to all these things, our means going vegan, etc., and different campaigns, Some of the universities are taking some other campaigns also, and those campaigns include that some of the universities have taken down the plastic sort of consumption. Means the consumption means that they are trying to curb the plastic waste. So the University of Reading cut down the plastic waste, and they have replaced the plastic straws in the university by the paper straw. So that is quite a good approach, and it's a sustainable approach also. Additionally, the University of Bar, they also are trying to make their buildings more efficient by reducing their carbon emissions. So according to the 2019 sustainability report, they have recently installed 2,000 smart meters to monitor the energy usage. Furthermore, the University uh, of Newcastle and the UCL, University of Sussex, then the University of York are now offering the courses or the modules, different modules, just to raise the awareness on those climate change, the carbon emission, etc. So you can see that different sorts of steps might be taken by the universities and the students. Additionally, the public transports, etc. All these things might be clubbed together to help this issue and to curb this problem of carbon emission. Finally, question is what's the answer? So there is no common answer, but the point is that when the tiny peoples of this huge earth come together and they try to make a sacred vow that yes, we want to do something for our mother earth and we want to save it, then together with the right sort of spirit, we can do it and we can achieve it. Additionally, the university are the place where the future generations are going to get shaped. So ultimately, if the right sort of attitude, right sort of syllabus, the curriculum is going to get designed, they are going to have the right sort of thinking. And obviously, in future, they are going to have the right sorts of life balance. So that's all from my side in this particular video. Hopefully, the universities will play a key role in the design of the right sort of personalities of the students in the future generation. And the sort of different people we are going to see in future might be the leaders of some of the top leaders of the world. So definitely they are going to frame some of the novel policies which are going to curb the carbon emission in a more efficient way, and that's how they are going to help this issue of climate change. So that's all from my side. Hopefully you must have liked this particular video. If you didn't like, please do comment below and criticize. We'll definitely try to incorporate your suggestions to improve the quality of videos further. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely day.